Well, we'll welcome you back and we'll see what the big story for today. We're talking about the recent call for the repeal of governors and ex-government pension laws that seems to be existing in 22 states at the moment. And that call seems to be growing by the day, especially after that signing into law by Alex Uti, the governor of Abia State, stopping life pension for ex-governors and their deputies. And the recent call coming from no other but the former president of the nation, and we're talking about Olusegun Obasanjo, when he visited Oti on Friday, insisting that he calls it nothing but daylight robbery. But anyway, we're not rubbing the issues alone, but really talking about it, and that's what we're doing on the show today. Well, enjoying that experience for life, and we're talking about the issue of having a life pension for ex-governors. Governors that sometimes might just only have 4 years ruling a state, but they have pension for life. But should that be the case, or should it go the way of the Abia State Governor Alex Oti on the 21st day of March, when he repealed that 2001 law that was put in place by the then State House of Assembly of Abia State, indicating that 100% should be paid to governors, ex-governors and their deputies? Should it be 18 to follow through, or should it be 18 that should be abolished, especially looking at what Serap is calling on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do? But anyway, he's still right here with us, helping out with the discussion. I'm talking of no other person but the National Secretary, Human Rights Protection Congress, and the State PRO, Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. And I'm talking of no other person but activist Kevin Ojomodo. Now, Kevin, let's return to the discussion, because I still want us to remain with the Serap call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, pushing for that very follow through of that very court order given by Justice Oluremi Oguntoyibo. It was, like I said, it was a landmark judgment. Many people applauded that judgment in 2019. That is Serap versus the Attorney General of the Federation as of then, indicating that they should put a stop to the pension and of ex-governors and their deputy. Now, I'm just still sticking with the issue of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing it. Now, presently he's the #1 man in the country. Yes. And as of that, he's also considered as the #1 citizen and defender of the Nigerian Constitution 99 as amended.
It's sworn down on oath.
On the 29th day of May. So it's not me saying, but it's there in the books. And not only that, in swearing that as an oath, he's also swearing to protect public interest.
Very well.
That's what he swore to. And irrespective of whether it's within the government or not.
Yes.
Now, looking at that law and looking at that very oath he took on the 29th day of May, can't he also inform those in his party or those in his government that he needs to obey the law? And as such, hinge on that ground to repeal that very life pension for ex-governors and their deputies. So can't he say, okay, guys, well, it's the law, and you know I signed an oath, and sorry, it's not mine, even if it doesn't have the political will, but we need to obey the law. Hence, I'm doing this. So would that not help him not get the route of his party and those big we that definitely in his government in repealing that law?
Thank you very much. You see, I would like us to underline the word in an ideal state. An ideal state is a state where the laws are sacrosanct. Yeah. The institution of government are stronger than those in government. The will of the people takes preeminence over the will of political elites. But in the Nigerian context, using the game theory and linkage theory over the years of what we've seen in our political template, I will deduce and I will conclude that President Ahmed Bola Tinubu cannot and will not obey the court order if it goes the way against the governors, that they shouldn't pay them life pension. He would want to do it. I don't see how that with power. There are people in power who see that they have that bravery to step on toes. While there are some you see the ambition is what concerns them. They don't care what they think of is the next election. Why a good leader will be thinking of the people.
Well, let's not stereotype him there, though. I appreciate if we do not stereotype him.
No, I'm not. No, the body language. We're looking at antecedent.
Okay.
We're looking at antecedent.
Okay, now, as it stands, 22 states are reportedly to have passed this life pension for governors and their deputies. And funny enough, most of these states are in debt. I can call the names of the states. Delta is in big debt. Rivers is in debt. Yes. Lagos, oh come on, is #1 indebted state in the federation. And not just only in debt, but most of them are even economically not too viable. Yes. States like Yobe, Gombe, all of them have these very low backing ex-governors and their deputies. But my question now is, how did the citizens even allow their state assembly to allow these laws in the first place? Laws that former President Olusegun Obasanjo called outrageous and a daylight robbery. So, yeah, we are crying now. The citizens are crying. Oh, come on, what kind of a law? But how did they even allow it to be passed in the National Assembly without raising dust as of then, kicking against it before it was even put into law? They were there. We had public hearings of these before it was passed into law, or rather before it was given to the different state governors for their answer. We had public hearings saying, oh, is this going to be? And many people came up and said, oh yeah, go ahead. They are our leaders for life. So why now come to cry? How did they even allow it in the first place? They would light robbery, like former President Olusegun Obasanjo said.
Most of the state assembly, when such bills have been passed to law, they do it swiftly. The public hearing comes in, they shy away from the public space. They do less of orientation for people to be aware of what it is. And just like if they want to go into borrowing, they do not seek a lot of opinion, public opinion. They just swiftly, those against the eye, those for say nay, the eyes have it. And when the eyes have it, it becomes law for them. Because it's to their favor. But with one that forces the masses, it takes a longer bureaucratic reciprocism for it to pass through the process, the rank and file and all of that. Now, you agree with me, yes. The masses were not carried along in this regard. If we know the danger of it, to pay this man pension for life, no.
And just like the 2001 Abia owned 100%, what you're presently paying the governor is what you're paying ex-governors and their deputies. So that served just for 4 years?
That's why I tuned the line of former President Olusegun Obasanjo that is daylight robbery. And that's the best way to describe it. Because even when you throw your state into debt, you see collecting 100%, no, it's an aberration. I keep saying that we must negotiate this country and our democracy.
Is it a renegotiating when you have citizens that are docile? How do you renegotiate on such a term when people were there? If Governor Oti did not come up to do this, the cry would have just been living by it by the day, and nobody raised any dust about it. So is it all about negotiating our existence, or looking about how docile the citizens are? They come to cry when somebody has done the deed, but sit and hail these political leaders when they are getting crumbs from them.
Like I always say, a corrupt system does not seem corrupt to an individual that enjoys benefit from the system. A corrupt politician will not tell you that it's at the administration of their party. It's faulty. Why? Because that's where he gets his daily stipend from. He will tell you, this is the best we've had. He will be giving you some narratives, yes, that cannot be backed up by reality on ground, but just by mercy. And that has affected our citizens as well. Then also hunger. You push them into hunger, like what Stanley did in Russia.
In Russia,
you pluck off the feathers from a hen, push corn, while bleeding, it still goes about eating the corn. While bleeding, he still wants to eat. That's what they're doing to the citizen. You repel them with hunger, put them under control, and whatever you do, they say, okay, what do we do? Look at people rushing for food, the food market in Lagos, when they give 20% discount. We're struggling to buy, and all of that. How do we get here? And you go abroad, you see people dropping food items, you just go there, you just pick, and you go to your house. Nobody struggles for all of this. And they're called basic amenities. Now people do prayer and crusade for transformer to work. If the transformer is 40, people go there and do all night VG. That is witchcraft that go there to off the gen every night. No, because our institutions are not working. So government must be proactive. They must be responsible to their citizens that is one or to govern.
Okay, now let's come to Governor Oti, and when he signed that law, I'm talking about 21st day of March, when he signed the Abia State of Nigeria Governors and Deputy Governors Pension Repeal Law of 2024, which prohibited former governors and their deputies in the state from receiving pension payments. A lot of commendation has continued to trail his action, and many people are really commending him for taking the bold step. But there are still many others that feel why he took that step is the ex-governors were never in his political party. He's of the Labour Party, and the ex-governors we had there were either governors from ABGA, PDP, or even APC. So they feel that's the reason he enacted to that law, because, well, come on, he had nobody in his party, so there was no political pressure to do so. I'm only keen to have your reactions to that. Do you feel that's why he went forward to sign this into law? Because maybe if he was a member of the People's Democratic Party or the APC, he would never have taken that political will to do so.
You know, I must commend Governor Alex Oti. He seems to be on the right path. And my prayers are with him that he maintains status quo and same to the end of his tenure. Now, I want to disagree that because he never had a political godfather in his party line, hence he took that decision. No. The decision he took March 21st will also affect him when he leaves office. Okay. Meaning he didn't put his self-interest before the people. If he does 4 years and, God willing, he doesn't win the next election, he steps aside, he knows he's not going to get that same pay. And it's a good step. We must think our people first. He did this not by better political party or affiliation. He did it based on the reality on ground. He has seen the indices. That if we save this money, we can get extra the project done. If we don't give them this money monthly, we can save extra the amount, and it can be shifted to other areas, other great areas in the state. He has also made himself also to know that he's not going to get that life pension as well. So I don't see that his decision was guided by, because I'm
not going to call the political party that said so, but the political party said they feel strongly that that's the reason he took that decision.
They always throw tantrums at a tree that has a very ripe fruit. You see people always throwing stones there to pluck up. The man has started well. Let's applaud him. All that governors should emulate this, especially now, yes, that state. We want to see this play out. It will help save a whole lot of money, and this money will be used to develop other areas, great areas of the state.
Now, you said something that caught my attention, but it makes me wonder, and you will not blame me for wondering. I'm just wondering, in states where the present governors are an offshoot of the ex-governors, or what I mean is, present governors are political godsons, would they have the political will to do this? Because, come on, I'm just wondering, because President Olusegun Obasanjo on Friday called on the current governors to emulate what Governor Alex Oti did.
It's a clear call.
Can that be done when they are an offshoot or beneficiaries of the benevolence of the president or ex-governors and their deputies?
Like it's used in the political parlance. They say want to go and do due consultations with stakeholders.
So with due consultations with stakeholders, not put
an end
to this.
It will fly, because the stakeholders, they are concerned about their belly infrastructure, what they get from the government of the day, and they wouldn't want it to fly. Rather, they will plan a civilian coup d'etat to perhaps look for a way to impeach the incumbent. But it takes bravery, it takes resilience, it takes one that vowed to serve people to take such decisions.
Sir, don't you feel you are talking because you're not a politician? Because a hardcore politician will know that you do not bite the finger that feeds you. And doing this is biting the finger that fed you.
When the finger that feeds you is trying to even pluck your eyes, and you see in the reality on ground that if it goes south, it's going to go south. And they won't mention them, it's you they will mention. Nobody calls out a player when the game is done. They call the coach. That his formation was wrong. But he has taught the boys, go into the pitch and play this formation. And if it fails, the coach doesn't do well. Look at AFCON, we came back from AFCON, our coach were laid off. They say he didn't do well. Now, going by bringing it into the political context, now what is, you've sworn on oath that against party affiliation, against your ethnic affiliation, you would stand.
But sir, you took an oath before you swore that oath. You took an oath to your political godfather that things will go his way.
The oath of allegiance to your party does not hold water when it comes to the oath of allegiance to your people. Because without
sir, it was your party that brought you
that gave a platform.
Yes, so would you now go against persons that put their money, their political structure in place, and now you are going back not to give them what's duly theirs? By law. Because it's been signed by the state governor.
I agree.
This is law.
But when you as an incumbent, you now look at the narrative and say, no, this money going to this point is on the high side. You take it. They want to frown, but when they see that the money, because one thing, there are two ways. If you pull out the money and they see that you've diverted into your personal aggrandizement, it raises dust. But when they see that this money you've removed, they see project on ground, even in their constituents. You can say, okay, for example, those that are agitating in your party, use money as it's coming out, use it to do projects in their constituents. I've done exercise for people. Okay, now we have a fertilizer plant in your community for farmers to enjoy. So,
and on account of the money that you stopped.
You do a big water project. You do good roads. You make security your standard. And it works out. I want to see this player in Delta State. I must say with sincerity. If this can play in Delta State, I will applaud our governor if he can take such stand. Because the money going there is humongous, it's outrageous, and it's mind blowing. Governors need to, it's the people. What are you governing? You govern the people. So it is the welfare of the people that comes first for your own welfare as even a political aid. We see countries where they resign. But Johnson resigned from the UK as a prime minister because he couldn't perform. In Africa and Nigerian context, they want to consolidate power, they want to hold on to power for how long as they can. But we can't continue to run a country like this if we want to push forward and meet with the global standard. That's my submission.
Okay, well, anyway, I need to thank you on your submission, but I'm also a bit curious that would this not also put a deadlock to the emergence or the smooth running of the governors? We know what's happening in Rivers State, and I'm just wondering, if such happens in Rivers State, only God knows where the dictates will go. But where I know we need to go now is on the break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered on that very call for the repeal of life pensions for governors and their deputies, and it looks as if the call is growing loud by the day.